What's going on, everybody? Daily Draft Dude back again, once again, for another fantasy football mock draft. This is draft number 14. We are doing a half PPR 12 team mock draft from the 10 spot. Before we get into it, if you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like down below and consider subscribing. Let me know. Do you like my takes? Do you not like my takes? Do you want me to try different formats? If you do, let me know. But with that being said, let's get right into it. Yes, sleeper, please. We do want to start. Okay. All right. So Bijan Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, JSN, James Cook, Jamar Chase. Again, this is just sleeper ADP. The computer is drafting. Obviously, Jamar Chase would be going here. There's no doubt about it. If this was standard, I would get it. It's not standard, and even in standard, I think he would still go before Jackson and potentially even James Cook. For us though, I think I think Amon Ra is probably the play, but man, do I want to get some Ashton Genty. Ashton Genty is just one of those players. And you know what? We still get Amon Ra. Ashton Genties is just one of those players that I think is going to absolutely explode this year. Sixth overall draft pick, had an unbelievable college production at Boise State. Yeah, he's playing Boise State. What are they? Mountain West. But he has just behind one of the worst O lines last year. He crushed it, and I think this year Ashton Genty, yeah, his potential is being baked into his price. He's going in the first, but man, I think this is gonna be big. This is gonna be a great pick. And yeah, I got Amon Ra. If I got Devon A. Chan, I would have loved it too. Uh, ooh, do I go QB? Do I go Lamar? I could go Colson Level. I think I'm gonna punt tight end. I think I'm gonna go some good options here. I think I'm gonna go Breeze though. I feel like Breeze. Oh, I would have loved to get T Higgins. Damn. Let's get Luther Burden. I'm not super into Luther Burden, and I think he's being priced as the most expensive bear for reasons that I don't think make too much sense considering he didn't have amazing production to start the season, and I get it. He was dealing with some injuries, but I just think that the price is just not warranted. Although he is an amazing prospect, I think here I love Ramondre. I like David Montgomery. I think these are some good running backs. I feel pretty confident in my running backs. I think I'm going to go Jaden Daniels. Oh, I do. You know what? I think I'm going to get the stack. I don't really enjoy stacking. We're not in best ball, but Caleb Williams, I think, is going to be an absolute killer this year. I think in the fifth round, he's an absolute steal. Highly recommend it. My home league quarterbacks there tends to be a run sometime in the fourth, fifth round. People like to get those elite quarterbacks, the Joshes, the Lamars, the Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, Drake May. I can see that happening in my home league. Here, we lost out on David Montgomery. That's not a problem. I think we're going to get Carnell Tate. We haven't really drafted a lot of Carnell Tate. Fourth overall draft capital is absolutely insane. Um, yeah, I think Carnell Tate on the Titans is going to be very, very good. And in the sixth round, you know what? I'm shooting for upside. This is a very upside heavy draft. I'm hoping that Genty ascends to superstardom based on where he was drafted. I hope that Amon Ra continues to be the number one in Detroit. I hope that Brees Hall and the Jets figure it out. I hope that Luther Burden takes a step up. And I hope that Caleb, much like Amon Ra or Genty, continues his ascension. And then I'm hoping Carnell Tate pans out. With that being said, not a lot of good options here. Don't love too many options. Yeah, so for me, it doesn't make sense to draft Blake Corum this early in the seventh because he's a clear backup. Um, J.K. Dobbins, I think, is interesting. I think he was really good. He was actually one of the first 100-yard rushes for Sean Payton, which I find to be so interesting. Um, With that being said, I think we just take a shot on him. Yeah, you can price him in that he's probably going to get injured, but I think that's totally understandable, totally fine. Yeah, I mean some really good stuff here. I like BTJ. I like Ricky Pearsall. I like Parker Washington. I like Makai Lemon. I love Devonta Smith wherever Devonta Smith went. He went here in the fifth. Yeah, had he gone all the way here, I would have slammed him. But with the AJ Brown trade, his ADP is going to skyrocket. I would not be surprised to see Devonta Smith go here, potentially over like Garrett Wilson, T. Higgins, Ted McMillan, send Devonta Smith. I think we're going to take Ricky Pearsall. I think Ricky Pearsall is in a spot. A lot of people consider him injury prone. He's dealt with some soft tissue injuries, but his rookie year he got shot. I don't really count that. And then he dealt with a PCL sprain last year. But before that, I mean, he was absolutely crushing it. He was on a really solid tear, 14-9, 19-8 with no touchdowns for 7, 6, 11, and 5. Then he had a PCL sprain, wasn't amazing, came back, again, wasn't too productive, and then he just dealt with it the rest of the year. I think he's going to be somebody with Mike Evans, Deshaun Stribling, Christian Kirk, and George Kittle whenever he comes back, that he's going to be able to play in the slot, be a bigger slot guy. Evans is going to take coverage away. People are going to have to deal with McCaffrey. And Ricky Pearsall is going to be that guy that's able to be that safety blanket, I think, in Kittle's absence for Ricky Pearsall. Um, with that being said, I think we're just going to continue to go running backs. This is kind of the dead zone. I think I'm understanding that from like J.K. Dobbins. Like once you get through Pollard, Dowdle, and Dobbins, the running back dead zone is super real. Don't love Corum. Don't love Brian Robinson. That's not Bijan. That's Brian Robinson. And I don't really love any of these guys. I don't know why James Connors is so high ADP. He's dealing with an injury. He's 31. Jadarian Price is really the only guy I like. I don't like Woody Marks. I don't like Tyron Tracy. Jordan Mason I don't really like. I don't like Edmund Johnson either. Or Jonah Coleman. Really don't love a lot of these guys. I think we're just going to continue. And just go. Let's go Xavier Worthy. More boom bust. Yeah, we're sort of hoping, but the team, that he takes a step, but the team is old, right? Travis Kelsey is 36. Rashi Rice is dealing with an injury, and he's in jail. They've signed some rookies. I'm just not really seeing the huge upside there. They drafted him in the first 2 years ago for a reason. Let's just see how that plays out. I think Brock Purdy, again, I can't emphasize enough, incredible value in the 10th if that sticks. Jackson Dart would push down. Would rather have Brock Purdy over Jackson Dart. Would rather have Brock Purdy over Pat. Probably Dak. Probably T Law. Everybody else. And probably Joe Burrow. Although healthy Joe Burrow is incredible. But Brock Purdy rushes just a tad more. I think here, I think there's some good options. Or not, rather, not some good options. Yeah, I think we're just gonna. This is just not great. I am not loving this. How many? I need one, two, three, four, five, six. And I have quarterback, and I have one, two, three, four, five. Let's look at what the roster looks like. So we have, yeah. I mean, I think we take Kenneth Gainwell. You take Kenneth Gainwell because you're not sure what the Bucky situation is like. They say that his shoulder injury is still dealing with it. They don't know if he's going to be available until the fall. A lot of coach speak. Just take the value on Gainwell right now. Khalil Shakir I don't love. Jane Higgins I like a lot, and I think we're going to be drafting him. I think he can take a nice jump going into 2026. Now let's go to the tight ends. Where's my man? Where's my man? Where is he? Did they draft him already? No. No, no, no. Yeah, there's my man. Greg Dolchich. Now, He's somebody that I think you can draft as late as possible in your drafts. For me, I think he is an excellent tight end that you can just pick up at the end of your drafts. They're talking a lot about him being a big weapon for Miami. There's nobody in Miami besides Devon Chan. I mean, look at this depth chart. Devon Chan, Ollie Gordon, Jalen Wright, and that's it. Malik Washington, Jag. Jalen Rager, Jag. Taj Washington, Jag. I mean, just not interesting. Jalen Tolbert, Jag. Terrace Marshall, Jag. Chris Bell, Tutu Atwell, Jag. And then you have Greg Dolchich, who I think a lot of people would consider a Jag, but he looked good to end the season. He's for free, right? I'm picking up here him in the 12th right here because I wanted to search for him, but you could easily pick him up in the 15th or late, and he's a great upside swing. Should he hit Miami? I feel the same way about Chig, Eli Stowers too, with AJ Brown being gone. Here, let's just take the handcuff for Genty should anything happen. A lot of people talk about handcuffing. I think for handcuffing, for my first round pick, maybe I'll take it. A lot of people say the philosophy is you want other people's handcuffs. I've tried that strategy. I agree with that. There's just so much luck involved, right? Because you could be holding somebody like Mike Washington or Tyler Algier or who else? Emmett Johnson for weeks and they're just not contributing anything to your starting roster and they're just clogging your bench of players that you could be picking up because you're hoping for an injury to Kenneth Walker. One, I don't really like thinking about. I mean, you have to think about injuries if you want to win. I don't really like that mindset too much. And two, it's not contributing to you winning. If you can drop Mike Washington or Tajay Spears, Braylon Allen, Emmett Johnson for a contributing player, I would do so. You guys know the deal. Jonathan Brooks, absolute smash. Good reports coming out of Carolina. He's being eased back in, but you know what? He's had two back-to-back ACL tears, so I'm excited for Jonathan Brooks. Again, upside swing. And then finally, I like Emmanuel Wilson. Emmanuel Wilson is just one of those players. It's kind of like Jordan Mason. I don't expect him to own the backfield the whole year, but get the value early. If somebody wants him, trade him. If they try to integrate price, and it's not working, keep him or trade him to the price owner. But look at this ADP discrepancy. Price is going 10-4. Yeah, he was picked 32, 32nd overall. But Emmanuel Wilson, yeah, they gave him a 1 year deal. But 15th, I think this is a smash. So let's look at our team. Half PPR. We start with Ashton Genty, then we went Amon-Ra St. Brown, then we went Brees Hall, then we went Luther Burden, Caleb Williams, Carnell Tate, J.K. Dobbins, Ricky Pearsall, Xavier Worthy, Kenneth Gainwell, Jaden Higgins, Greg Dulcich, Mike Washington Jr., Jonathan Brooks, and then Emmanuel Wilson. I think our running back 3 spot is a little weak. Really, maybe I should have gone somebody like Javante, Travion, even reach for Scat, maybe instead of Burden, and I could have maybe swapped because we saw so much value in wide receiver in the middle rounds, but it is what it is. If you enjoyed this video, leave it a like. Let me know down below what you thought, and I will catch you guys in the next one.